My name is Alex Tuckness, and I'm an assistant professor of political science at Iowa State University, and this year a visiting fellow in ethics at Harvard University Center for Ethics in the Professions. I welcome you to an important debate tonight: the resurrection of Jesus, fact or fiction? Tonight's debate is sponsored by the Iowa State University Committee on Lectures, as well as several Christian groups: Campus Crusade for Christ, Bridgeway Church, the Salt Company, The Rock, University Impact, and Truth Bucket. It is also sponsored by the ISU Atheist and Agnostic Society, which was founded in 1999 in order to provide a supportive social group for students who have non-religious views on this campus. It also functions to educate the public about secular humanist viewpoints. Tonight, we have a topic that has been debated for centuries: the resurrection of Jesus. In an age when it is often quite popular to think of questions of religious truth as being nothing more than aesthetic preferences of taste, tonight we have a debate between two people who believe that history and facts matter, that whether or not Jesus was bodily raised from the dead is essential for evaluating the validity of the Christian faith. In holding this view, they echo that of the Apostle Paul, who in 1 Corinthians chapter 15 made the comment that if Jesus was not raised from the dead, the entire Christian faith is useless. Given the importance of our topic, we are very fortunate to have two distinguished representatives of each position. Dr. William Lane Craig will argue that there is credible evidence for regarding the bodily resurrection of Jesus as a historical event. Dr. Hector Avalos will argue that there is no credible evidence for regarding the bodily resurrection of Jesus as an historical event. Before I introduce the participants more formally in the debate, let me outline a few ground rules. My job as moderator is to ensure that time limits are observed by the participants. I will signal each participant as they approach their limit. The time limits are published and available to the audience, but the basic schedule of the debate is as follows. We will have opening statements of 20 minutes each, beginning with Dr. Craig. There will then be a pair of rebuttals of 12 minutes each, followed by a second pair of rebuttals of 8 minutes each. Finally, there will be closing remarks of 5 minutes each, ending with Dr. Avalos. After that, we will have 30 minutes for questions from the audience. We expect the participants not to exceed their time restrictions, and we expect the audience to remain respectful throughout the debate. There should be no disruptive or loud expressions of approval or disapproval for either participant while they are speaking. We want people to be able to hear the arguments and really think about them. There will be a question and answer session at the end of the debate, and we also expect that your questions will be put forward in a respectful manner. And I also hope that the participants in the debate will set the tone by showing that they value the pursuit of truth as much as they value the pursuit of victory in debate, and that they will set the example by really thoughtfully engaging with the very best arguments that each side has to offer, and that I hope you, in your questions, will have that same spirit. Well, with no further ado, let me introduce tonight's debaters. Dr. William Lane Craig earned a doctorate in philosophy at the University of Birmingham, England, before taking a second doctorate in theology from the University of Munich, Germany. While at the University of Munich, Dr. Craig was, for 2 years, a fellow of the Alexander von Humboldt Foundation, funded by the German government, writing on the historicity of the resurrection of Jesus. Having spent 7 years as a visiting researcher at the University of Louvain, Belgium, he has been, since 1994, a research professor at Talbot School of Theology in La Mirada, California. He has authored over 30 books, including The Historical Argument for the Resurrection of Jesus During the Deist Controversy, Assessing the New Testament Evidence for the Historicity of the Resurrection of Jesus, Will the Real Jesus Please Stand Up, co-authored with John Dominic Crossan, and Jesus' Resurrection, Fact or Figment, co-authored with Gerd Ludman. He's also published scores of articles in professional journals such as New Testament Studies, Journal for the Study of the New Testament, the Expository Times, Kerugma und Dogma. He currently lives in Atlanta with his wife Jan, and they have 2 university-age children, Charity and John. Dr. Hector Avalos is an associate professor of religious studies at Iowa State University, where he was named Professor of the Year in 1996 and a 2003-2004 master teacher. He is also a founder and director of the U.S. Latino Studies program at ISU and the executive director of the Committee for the Scientific Examination of Religion, a part of the Council for Secular Humanism based in Amherst, New York. A former fundamentalist preacher born in Mexico, he has a bachelor's in anthropology from the University of Arizona and a master's of theological studies from Harvard Divinity School. In 1991, he became the first Mexican-American to obtain a PhD in Biblical and Near Eastern Studies from the Department of Near Eastern Languages and Civilizations at Harvard University, where he studied under F.M. Cross, a pioneer in the study of the Dead Sea Scrolls. He is the author of 3 books, including Illness and Health Care in the Ancient Near East, The Role of the Temple in Greece, Mesopotamia, and Israel, Healthcare and the Rise of Christianity, and one in Spanish titled Se puede saber si Dios existe, a systematic critique of Christian apologetics and a defense of atheism. He is also the author of numerous scholarly articles on the history of healthcare, science and religion, and biblical law. Dr. Avalos has spoken in various places around the world, including Israel, Rome, Oslo, Norway, and London. Please join me in giving a hand to our presenters.